Hey guys, welcome to Jay Speak. This week we answer some questions and also take a look at my pedal board. First question, Friedman Double J Jr. up against the PRS Archon. Kind of two totally different amps. I played an Archon. It reminds me of Mesa. You mentioned the Archon is better on the wallet, so yeah, it's better on the wallet. I think the Double J is an awesome amp, and if you get a chance to play one, I would definitely play it for yourself, see if you like it, but the Archon is a great option, and you might have some more cash to do something else. Question 2. What is the build quality of the PRS MT15, the Marshall DSL20, and the Rocker 15? Having owned all of them, the DSL20 kind of felt cheap. Orange and the PRS are in the metal housings. I really like that the MT had like the blue and red LED light. I don't know why. I really like that. I think the orange is put together well. I don't like the tops, how the tops come off from the bottom and the little screws. I had issues with the screws, actually, and I did not appreciate that. And Orange sent me a new pack of screws, but the screws weren't the problem. It was actually the metal housing that was the problem, and the screw got stuck in the metal housing, and they basically said, tough luck. Wasn't really cool in my book. I'd say all of them were built well. I think the PRS was built maybe a little bit better. The Marshall looks like a normal head with a wood casing, etc. So I think overall that was probably the cheapest sounding of all of them. And then again, that is also opinion. DSL would not be my first choice between those three amps. Which, by the way, I sent Friedman an email, and Dave himself got back to me within a couple hours on the weekend. And this is the second time I've sent Friedman an email for something, and Dave has personally responded, and that's just like fantastic customer service. I am truly impressed and will be a Friedman purchaser for life because he cares and makes great stuff. So that helps, right? Third question, do I use the effects loop or do I run all my effects up front? It depends, and this goes into my pedal board. Generally, my board runs up front. Sometimes I throw a reverb or a delay in the effects loop, and it depends on what amp I'm running. I've been going through a Mark V 25 and also the Friedman Double J or the Friedman Runt. I've been rotating those. My board is kind of built to run through my Fender Twin. I've used it also with the Friedman Dirty Shirley. So I've used a bunch of different things, but if I'm recording in here and I'm doing amp comparisons, I generally say if it's up front or in the effects loop. I will say if you want like pristine delays and reverbs to sound how they're meant to sound, run it through the effects loop. If you want kind of chaos, run it up front, because you can get some really gnarly sounds putting some things in front of your amp versus in the effects loop. You're not going to get the same result, so you kind of have to work with what works for you. Also, pedal order, you can reverb generally is last, but you can put a delay after a reverb and kind of get some crazy sounds. But if we take a look at my pedal board real quick, I have a Polytune 3 on here, which I like because it's nice and big and it lights up well. You could tune all the strings with it if you wanted to. I have a 95Q Dunlop wah, which I like because you can kind of control the sweep on it and you don't have to press down to activate it. It's like always on. So as soon as you put your foot on it and start moving it, it works. I have two Mad Professor pedals. The Little Green Wonder, so if I'm using like the Fender Twin or something, I have a dirt pedal available. I use the Fire Red Fuzz because one of the bands I play with plays Seven Nation Army, and I just like the way it sounds, so I use that pedal. I also have an EP Boost. I use that as well as the MXR El Torino for overdrive or just to kind of kick the amp a little bit. Something like Mr. Brightside by the Killers. If I'm playing through a clean amp, the way I have that set is to boost it, and it gives me that little bit of gain, and then I can dig into the guitar and it plays that riff really well. Then I've got the three big box Strymons, the Timeline Mobus, and the Big Sky, which I haven't been using the Timeline a lot. I might swap that for the Volante. I just haven't done it yet. I've been getting by with the board, so I haven't messed it up at all. I've got some Walrus audio pedals I want to probably put on the board, and I might take the Mobus off. I also have an MD500. It's just one of those things where the board is put together, so I haven't really messed with it. And then I also have the Strymon Dig. I really like the capability of the Dig, so I have a favorite switch on there too. Right now, I've got like a flanger-esque saved off, and then I've got like a dotted delay kind of on the pedal. It's also a Novo board. I've got the Zuma underneath powering everything. It's pretty basic as far as I'm concerned. I have some EBS cables I use as well as Monster cable. It works well. I don't really have any issues. This board, again, I run up front of the amp generally, so it's quote in the correct order as far as things go with dirt and wahs and delays and all that stuff. I got a lot more pedals. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do over the next few weeks is I'll review all my current pedals, what I got going on. Maybe I'll split it up and I'll do a modulation video, dirt and delay and reverb or something. But yeah, that's what I'm currently using right now. I've got a Jazzmaster in the studio, the Ultra Jazzmaster. Started messing with the ARP87 and the Slow by Walrus, and they are just tasty little boxes. So I'll probably do something different with the Jazzmaster here in the next few weeks or something. But between the 3 big box pedals, I'm covering a lot of ground, like a lot of ground. So that's probably why they're on there, because I've got my own settings for like a bit crusher or flanger or phaser, and it's just easy to hit that, have it on my board, and be done with it, kind of. So I never have to go, oh man, I gotta put the Lillian on my board, because it's not there. If I had to line up all my pedals, it'd be like 3 boards this size, and that's just ridiculous. Honestly, I don't think you can get any of the big box stuff sounds as good as single pedals if there's specific sounds you love. Like, I had the Strymon El-Cap, and I ended up getting rid of it, and I had the Flint too. But I found comparable settings on the Timeline, the Big Sky, so I just found those settings, copied them as best as I could, and saved them in the pedal. You know, at that point, I have those pedals in those boxes, 90% there. What's on your board? I think next week we'll do questions and let's look at dirt next week. So, as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Many more videos to come. Don't miss one sub.